Hi, this is Scott Dudley from Funnel Fella Radio, and today we're up to episode number 27, and we're going to be taking a look at the one question you should be asking all your customers. So, if you've been listening to this podcast before, you'd be well aware that I'm a huge advocate of asking your target market for feedback and insights related to whatever it is you're selling so you can get good market research. It's really important to get inside the heads of the people that you're selling to rather than guessing. And the other advantage of that is that you can pick up on the actual phrases that they're using and use that in your copy as well. So you're basically using exactly the same language that your target audience is using. So when most people think of research, though, they think of asking potential customers the sort of standard sort of questions these days, such as, what's your biggest challenges? What are the problems that you're experiencing? What are your pain points? Or they might even ask current customers what type of products they might be interested in buying as well. That's pretty commonplace and standard, and that's sort of not anything new or exciting in 2020 when it comes to new marketing insights. However, there is one question that when asked at a specific time, it takes the cake when it comes to skyrocketing your sales, and this comes courtesy of an excellent book which is called Making Websites Win by the founders of Conversion Rate Experts. So this is the book here, and I'd highly recommend that anyone that's serious about mastering CRO, that they purchase the book and have a good read. Okay, whether you're a business owner or if you're actually a practitioner of CRO. So that said, what is the big question? So the question is, what nearly stopped you from buying from us? Okay, I'll just read that out again. What nearly stopped you from buying from us? That said, it could also be a slight variation of this, something such as what nearly stopped you from using us, or what nearly stopped you from signing up with us, or sort of anything along those lines. You get the point. And so the important thing here is, though, when is the right time to ask this question? And it's directly after they've purchased or straight after the purchase. Like as soon as the purchase, the next thing that you should be doing is asking them this question. So basically immediately after the action has taken place. Now, the question could be asked on a thank you page or possibly in a follow-up email, or it could even actually be asked in a pop-up that appears possibly on the next page after they've purchased as well. But anyway, in my opinion, it should be on the page that they hit immediately after they've completed the action of purchasing or signing up. And preferably above the fold at the very top, the first thing that they see. And, it should just be a simple matter of just answering the question in a text box, hitting a button, and then that feedback should be sent to you somehow. So you might be wondering, okay, so why is this so important? And there's three reasons here. Two of the reasons are included in the book, and then the third reason is one that I've come up with myself. So first of all, you actually put it to your customers and not to those who didn't buy from you. So there's a huge difference in the value of a customer that's purchased and somebody else that either may have signed up as a lead or they haven't even got to that stage yet. So, to put a value, if you like, out of 10 on the difference between the two, I would say that somebody that has just purchased, they would get a value of, 7 or 8 out of 10. And then you compare that to somebody who has signed up as a lead, they might get a 2 or a 3 out of 10. And then you compare that to somebody that hasn't even signed up as a lead, then they're either a 0 or a 1 out of 10. So somebody that has purchased from you is a lot more valuable than somebody who hasn't purchased from you, for the simple fact that they've voted with their wallet and they've actually bought something. So that's why you want to be asking this to your customers. Okay, and obviously if they've just purchased from you, then they're a customer, aren't they? All right, so the second reason is that your customers have been through the entire sales funnel, whereas non-customers haven't. So, I mean, if somebody hasn't gone through the sales funnel, then they're not really qualified to be asking questions about why they, nearly didn't purchase, or what stopped you from nearly not purchasing. So, you know, uh, somebody that's just gone through the sales funnel, they've just actually personally experienced the sales funnel from start to finish, and they will know, if anything, what was it that could have stopped them from purchasing. So then you get to the third question, and this is my own, not the third question, but the third reason, and this is my own reason, is that you're striking right when the iron is hot and you're getting feedback immediately after the purchase. So you're getting their thoughts at precisely the right time when it's still fresh in their mind. Whereas if you wait until later, then it's quite possible that they've forgotten completely why they might not have purchased. And this is why I suggest that you hit them up on the thank you page or the order confirmation page, or whatever you call the page that they hit once they've completed the sales funnel, because within the last seconds or the last minutes, they've just completed the action. So it's all fresh in their mind. Whereas if you send an email and maybe the email, for whatever reason, has a delay and it doesn't turn up into their inbox until 10 minutes later, or it ends up in their spam folder, then the chances of you getting good feedback from that are a lot less than if you hit them up as soon as they place the order on the next page. So this is a really, really good idea, and it makes a lot of sense. So yeah, what I would recommend is popping the question right at the top of the order confirmation page and adding a text box for them to pop in an answer, just as I've sort of already mentioned. That is the perfect way to do it. Or another option would be to use a pop-up survey question, similar to what Hotjar offers, where you can have a pop-up on the bottom right hand or left hand corner of the page, and then that asks them the question, and then they fill it in and they hit enter, and then that information is sent to Hotjar. However, that won't actually have the customer's email address on there. I don't think it would. Whereas if you do it on the order confirmation page, and you would include an email address element, which should pre-populate with their email address. So they don't even need to type their email address in. All they need to do is fill out the answer, what nearly stopped you from buying, and then they can hit enter. And then if you're using a system like ClickFunnels, then it will send that information to the contact profile. And what you could also do is set up a Zap, where it sends it to a Google Sheet as well, and then you've got all the feedback together in the one place. So I would really look at doing both, where it sends the information to the contact profile, and it also sends the information onto a Google Sheet where you've got everything together. Okay, so however you set it up, it's vital that you capture the data into a spreadsheet, and you start looking for patterns. So if it's in a Google Sheet, and say you end up eventually getting 50 or 100 responses, then you can start analyzing the responses and seeing what are the most common things that are appearing. Another good idea that you can also do is you can copy the column that has all of the text in it for the responses. You can paste it into what's known as a word cloud. If you do a Google search for a word cloud, you should be able to find, I'm not sure of what any of the names of them are, but if you do a Google search, you'll find word cloud. You paste in all of your text from the entire column, and what it will do is it will develop a cloud of words where the most used words are larger, and then as they keep getting smaller, then those are the words that are less used. But that way you can quickly and easily see what words are the words being used the most. But you'd also want to, on top of that, you'd also want to go through them manually and possibly even start categorizing them. And yeah, like I was saying, the whole point is to look for patterns. And the more data you've got, the better. Probably you wouldn't need any more than 200 responses, but you'd want at least 50 to 100. And then you can start going through them and you can start to see patterns as to why some people would have nearly stopped purchasing. And then, of course, you can then set up split tests or make changes to your pages based on the feedback from your customers. And that's an excellent way to identify roadblocks and things that need to be fixed up or at least tested. So anyway, that's about all I've got for today. Hopefully you got some value out of that, and I'll catch up with you in the next episode of Funnel Fella Radio. Talk to you soon. Bye.